look into my crystal ball as we look into the future of what the 2023 housing market looks like. Hi, welcome back to another Coffee with Coleman, where we love to discuss Washington, D.C., business, real estate, all that good stuff. My name is John Coleman. I'm a real estate agent here in Washington, D.C. with the Jason Martin Group. If this is interesting, click that like button. It helps me know that you're enjoying the content. And if you really enjoy seeing this beautiful mug, then go ahead and hit subscribe. So then you get alerted when I release new videos, so then you can go like those too. So much fun. It's a circle of YouTube life. So 2022 was interesting. Am I right? We started off the year with all the craziness. Interest rates were dirt cheap in the threes, and fist fights were happening to pretty much everything on the market. As I stood here last year, there were predictions that prices would increase a minimum of 2% and as high as 13%. The funny thing is, they're both kind of right. The first 4 months of the year, we were looking at a peak of 13%. Easy money. Like, we were cooking towards that 13%, no problem on year-over-year growth. And then interest rates started to set in, and we found ourselves actually dead even on sales prices when you compare the end of 2021 with the end of 2022. So there's a little bit of separation, and then it all came back to where it was. It's not a secret what inflation did, and compounded by the continuing issues of COVID and Russia invading Ukraine, prices of everything started to climb. The value of the dollar felt like it kept being reduced in buying power. Here, while abroad, it seemed like it was getting strengthening. It was confusing. Everyone underestimated, or at least refused to listen to what interest rates would do. But let's take a peek at what it felt like to be a consumer. So here's a scenario where someone buying an $800,000 home with a 20% down payment in January of 2022, when the rates were at their lowest. And here's that same purchase and what it looked like in November of 2022, when rates seemed to be at their highest. Knock on wood. It is not an exaggeration. The people that bought in early 2022 have a mortgage payment of $3,300 a month. At the end of the year, that was $5,100 a month. If the person wanted to keep the same $3,300 payment as opposed to just paying more monthly at a 7.5% interest rate, they would have adjusted their purchase price down to about $500,000. Dude, we're living with numbers that have been insane for a little while. If you didn't know, now you know. So that's last year. What are people talking about this year? And here's what the experts are saying. So first, from the National Housing Forecast. So according to them, the housing market is expected to continue an upward trend in 2023. Experts predict that home prices could rise about 4%, while the number of houses sold will only increase by about 2%. This is a good news, potentially for sellers, because it also means that buyers will need to act quickly and be prepared to pay a bit more for their dream home. This means buyers might need to start competing a little bit harder again. We'll need to see. The old adage, as it goes, the early bird gets the worm, or in this case, the house. Next up, we have Forbes. Forbes advisors are a little bit more bullish on the housing market in 2023. They predict that low mortgage rates will continue to fuel demand, leading to a shortage of homes. We already have a shortage, but I guess it's going to be even more shortage, and driving up prices. They also expect to see more new construction, which will help alleviate this shortage towards the back of the year and maybe keep prices in check. That's not really relevant to this area. We do not have, at least in DC proper, that many new constructions. The further you get out, the more you have those developments that can build more homes. DC's a little bit limited in that, and they do say that lower mortgage rates are like rocket fuel to the housing market. So as much as mortgage rates that went up in the fall, that made people want to buy a little bit less, those coming down could inject some of that rocket fuel right here in DC. Next up is Inman. Inman has a slightly different take on the housing market in 2023. They predict that the market is going to cool off a bit as more sellers enter the market and buyers start to lose steam. However, they also note that this could be a good thing for buyers, as it will create more opportunities and less competition. And as one expert from Inman put it, the housing market is like a roller coaster, and 2023 is shaping up to be the year of the downward slope. So if you are looking for an opportunity to find a better deal on stuff, Inman's there. They agree with you. Finally, Redfin. They're forecasting that the housing market is going to slow down in 2023, with home prices rising at a slower pace and fewer homes actually selling. They attribute this to continued high mortgage rates, and the rates could go up, they think, and a lack of inventory. However, they also note that this could be a good thing for purchasers as it will create more opportunities and less competition. And Redfin predicts that the housing market will be like a game of musical chairs in 2023 when there are more chairs than there are players, which seems weird. Not a fun game at all, unless you're a purchaser. Could be a very fun game. So like we had 2 on the positive end and 2 on more the negative end, and I'll put the links below and you can go over the reports yourself. So what am I seeing? And like, as much as I wish I had the crystal ball, those caveats apply. I don't. The inventory out there in these first couple weeks of the year has moved faster than I expected. I've had a couple situations where there's been multiple offers already, and the rates are already sneaky lower than you're expecting. If you haven't talked to your mortgage lender since November, it might be time to give them a call to see where you're at. Also, inflation is now in the 6s and it seems like it's moving down. It feels like we're in a recipe for an uptick in the market. There was so much demand before the interest rates started to go up that it's hard to believe that all of that just simply went away. If mortgage rates do find themselves coming down into the low 6s and into the 5s, we're gonna probably see ourselves in a pretty healthy market, but until we see what's gonna happen, we're just not gonna know. The outlier here is there's a lot of people I feel like they were potentially looking to list their houses in the fall that ended up not doing it because they felt like maybe the market wasn't as good. And now we could see a few more properties this spring than we could have seen in the past few years. So keep your eyes open, stay on top of the market. If you have questions about the market, about your neighborhood, about what we're seeing, go ahead and reach out. My information's below. Again, if you like this content, go ahead and hit that like button so I know that you're enjoying it. And additionally, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to share all more detail with you. We got some good videos coming up next. Thanks again for stopping by another Coffee with Coleman. Peace.